Hello, everybody. Welcome to Truthworthy. This is Levi Pingleton with Catholic Apologetics International. Visit us at robertsungenis.com, journeytothecenter of the universe.com, and robertsungenis.substack.com. Also, visit Hugh Owen and our family, friends, and colleagues over at the Colby Center for the Study of Creation, colbycenter.org. Also, visit me at levipingleton.substack.com, my Facebook page, and also at the Truthworthy YouTube channel, which you just look it up. It's at Truthworthy. Today, what I'm going to be getting into is a quote from Dr. Robert Sungenis's Catholic Apologetics Study Bible, Volume 4, the Book of Genesis, chapters 1 to 11. And it's about St. Thomas Aquinas' literal historical interpretation of Genesis. And, spoiler alert, the light on day one was not the sun. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Quote, as we have noted earlier, some Christian scholars are reticent to assign a literal day-night sequence to Genesis 1, due to nothing more than the fact that the sun and stars appear on the fourth day rather than the first day. The objector claims that since today it is obvious that the sun causes the day-night sequence on Earth, there could have been no day-night sequence before the sun was created. Therefore, the days of Genesis are neither literal nor chronological. Catholic scholar Father Stanley Yockey considers this argument his strongest in denying a chronological 24-hour day period to Genesis 1. For him, if the sun is missing from the first day, then there can be no darkness and night. Thus, the days of Genesis are symbolic of long periods of time. Or the sun existed on the first day and is recapitulated on the fourth day. Yaki is well aware of the fact, however, that neither the fathers of the church nor the medieval theologians who followed them saw any problem with having two sources of light on the first and fourth day, respectively. For example, being consistent with his literal hermeneutic, St. Thomas Aquinas postulated that the effusive light on the first day was made into the sun and stars on the fourth day, perhaps similar to God fashioning man on the sixth day from the dirt that he created on the first day, which I think is just an amazing way to interpret scripture as well as just an amazing way to see the special creation from God. Quote, and this is from St. Thomas Aquinas. Now it seems to be required for two reasons that the formlessness of darkness should be removed first of all by the production of light. In the first place, because light is a quality of the first body, as we stated, and thus by means of light it was fitting that the world should first receive its form. The second reason is because light is a common quality, for light is common to terrestrial and celestial bodies. But as in knowledge we proceed from general principle, so do we in work of every kind. For the living thing is generated before the animal, and the animal before the man, as is shown in De Generatione Animalibus 2, chapter 3. It was fitting, then, as an evidence of the divine wisdom, that among the works of distinction the production of light should take first place, since light is a form of the primary body, and because it is a more common body, or more common quality. Basil, in Homily 2 in Hexameron, indeed adds third reason, that all other things are made manifest by light. And there is yet a fourth, already touched upon in the objections, that day cannot be unless light exists, which was made therefore on the first day. According to the opinion of those who hold that the formlessness of matter preceded its form and duration, matter must be held to have been created at the beginning with substantial forms, afterwards receiving those that are accidental, among which light holds the first place. In the opinion of some, the light here spoken of was a kind of luminous nebula, and that on the making of the sun this returned to the matter of which it had been formed. But this cannot be well maintained, as in the beginning of Genesis, Holy Scripture records the institution of that order of nature, which henceforth is to endure. We cannot then say that what was made at that time afterwards ceased to exist. Others therefore held that this luminous nebula continues in existence, but so closely attached to the sun as to be indistinguishable. But this is as much to say that it is superfluous, whereas none of God's works have been made in vain. On this account, it is held by some that the sun's body was made of this nebula. This too is impossible to those, at least, who believe that the sun is different in its nature from the four elements, and naturally incorruptible. For in that cause, or pardon me, in that case, its matter cannot take on another form. I answer then with Dionysius, De Divinis Nominibus, 4, that the light was the sun's light, formless as yet, being already the solar substance, and possessing illuminative power in a general way, to which was afterwards added the special and determinative power required to produce determinate effects. Thus, then, in the production of this light, a triple distinction was made between light and darkness. First, as to the cause, for as much as in the substance of the sun we have the cause of light, and in the opaque nature of the earth the cause of darkness. Secondly, as to place, for in one hemisphere there was light, in the other darkness. Thirdly, as to time, because there was one hemisphere, there was light. Pardon me. Because there was light for one and darkness for another in the same hemisphere. And this is signified by the words, he called the light day and the darkness night, unquote. And again, that's from Robert Sungenis in the CASB, Volume 4, the book of Genesis, chapters 1 to 11. And you can get it at robertsungenis.com. And God bless you guys. Peace be with you. I hope that you enjoyed this short but sweet little video segment that presents a wonderful teaching from St. Thomas Aquinas about the distinction of the light on day 1 from that of the light on day 4. So God bless you and peace be with you. And I hope that this really helps you to be able to read the Holy Scripture, especially the Genesis creation account, in a more literal historical fashion. So peace be with you. Thanks for listening today.